Have you ever looked at the foods on your plate and wondered if they're quietly shaping the way you feel as a man after 60? Maybe you've noticed your energy dipping halfway through the day, or that spark in the bedroom fading in ways you never expected. Perhaps you chalked it up to age. But what if the truth was hiding in the foods you choose each day? For decades, we've been told what's healthy by advertisements, packaging, and quick fixes. But the reality is that many of those so-called healthy choices are draining your testosterone, clogging your blood flow, and leaving you weaker when you could still be strong. I'm Dr. Maya Kapoor, and for over 30 years, I've helped men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond rediscover vitality without pills or gimmicks. Today, I want to take you on a journey through 9 foods that can make the difference between feeling like you're fading away and feeling fully alive as a man again. Some of these foods have been misunderstood for decades. Others are everyday staples hiding in plain sight. But when you use them correctly, they support testosterone, open your blood vessels, and revive confidence where it matters most. So let's begin, because the longer you wait, the more time slips by, and the more your body misses out on fuel it desperately needs. The first stop takes us to something surprising: butter. For years, men were told butter was bad, a dangerous saturated fat that would wreck your heart. We were pushed toward margarine and plant-based spreads made with oils that sounded modern and smart. But now we know the truth. Those spreads were loaded with soybean oil, canola oil, palm oil, cheap, highly processed fats that spark inflammation in the body. And when inflammation sets in, your blood vessels stiffen, your circulation slows, and your erections weaken. Real butter, especially when it comes from grass-fed cows, tells a different story. It's rich in healthy saturated fats, vitamin A, vitamin E, and powerful fatty acids that support hormone production. Testosterone, the very hormone that fuels your drive, your energy, your manhood, depends on fats like these to be produced efficiently. European-style grass-fed butter carries more of the good stuff: omega-3s, vitamins, and the fatty acids that protect your cells and feed your testosterone. I still remember a patient named George, 68 years old, who swapped out margarine for a simple slice of grass-fed butter each morning. Within months, he didn't just feel stronger at the gym. He noticed warmth returning to his hands and feet, and yes, his morning erections too. Now, let's walk further down the grocery aisle to something that seems ordinary but holds one of the biggest secrets to circulation: eggs. For years, cholesterol fear kept men away from whole eggs, especially the yolk. But the yolk is where the magic lives. Inside is vitamin D, choline, B12, and leucine, nutrients your pelvic muscles and nerves need to fire properly. Without them, erections weaken, bladder control falters, and even your balance can decline. Pasture-raised eggs, where chickens live outdoors eating bugs, grass, and worms, contain far more of these nutrients than cage-free or factory eggs. If circulation is the engine of your manhood, these breads are sand in the gears. One of my patients, Harold, 72, had grown used to numbness in his legs and a fading sense of manhood. I asked him to start his mornings with 2 boiled pasture-raised eggs. 4 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin. "Doc," he said, "I didn't need to push myself up out of bed this morning. My body just felt ready." That's what real nourishment does. It doesn't just feed your stomach. It feeds your strength as a man. From butter and eggs, we move towards something we often take for granted: bread. For most men, bread is a daily staple, but here's the hidden danger. Most commercial breads are made with enriched flour, stripped of nutrients, and filled back up with synthetic vitamins. They add sugar, preservatives, and cheap oils that spike your blood sugar, inflame your vessels, and leave you heavy and tired. If circulation is the engine of your manhood, these breads are sand in the gears. But real bread, made with whole grains, nuts, and seeds, offers fiber that cleans your arteries and stabilizes blood sugar. Fiber keeps blood flowing freely and energy steady. I once spoke with Alan, a 66-year-old retired teacher who admitted he lived on sandwiches made with soft white bread. He complained of sluggishness and fading intimacy. We swapped his bread for sprouted whole grain loaves, rich in seeds and fiber. Within a month, he said he felt lighter, clearer, and more present with his wife. The change wasn't just in his digestion, it was in his blood vessels, his circulation, his life. Digestion shapes far more than your stomach, and probiotics are the silent powerhouse most men ignore. When your gut is inflamed, when bad bacteria dominate, it doesn't just affect your stomach. It affects your hormones, your energy, even your erections. A strong gut helps regulate testosterone and energy. Many men spend money on cheap probiotic pills that never make it to the colon, where they're needed most. But when you find a quality source, one that actually delivers live cultures past the stomach acid, you're giving your body a foundation for vitality. I've seen men in their 70s regain regular bowel movements, steadier energy, and even sharper desire once they restored their gut health. David, 70, told me that after fixing his gut, his wife leaned in one evening and said, "You feel different, more alive." That's the ripple effect of caring for what's inside. Now, every man knows the comfort of coffee or tea, but here's where the details matter. Flavored coffees, pods, and creamers are often loaded with artificial flavors, hydrogenated oils, and chemicals that leach into your cup. Real coffee, ground or whole bean, preferably single origin, offers antioxidants and polyphenols that support vascular health. Green tea, especially loose leaf, carries compounds that relax vessels and reduce inflammation. Swap out the artificial creamers for real cream, milk, or almond milk, and you give your body the fuel without the poison. Frank, 74, once confessed that he lived on sweet-flavored coffee pods, and his energy tanked by noon. When he switched to loose-leaf green tea in the morning and real black coffee after lunch, his energy stretched throughout the day, his sleep improved, and his late-night confidence returned. Sometimes the smallest swaps awaken the biggest changes. From the morning routines of butter, eggs, bread, and coffee, we move into the heart of the day, lunch. And here, protein becomes your best ally. After 60, your body fights a quiet battle against muscle loss, weaker recovery, and slower metabolism. But the answer isn't in expensive powders or risky injections. It's in real, simple protein. Tuna and salmon, especially when wild caught, are compact powerhouses. They carry omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and improve blood vessel flexibility, ensuring that blood can still surge into the places you need it most. They also provide the building blocks for testosterone and muscle tissue, helping you maintain strength and confidence long after many men give up. I remember Walter, a 69-year-old veteran, who admitted he'd cut out fish entirely, thinking it was too expensive and unnecessary. I asked him to add just 2 servings of wild salmon a week. Within weeks, his joints ached less, his energy rose, and his wife quietly whispered, "You seem younger again." That's the quiet power of the right protein, reversing what time tries to take. But tuna and salmon aren't the only lunchtime heroes. Turkey, when chosen carefully, offers clean, lean protein without the chemicals that sabotage health. The problem is that most deli meats are loaded with preservatives, fillers, and phosphates that irritate your body. They inflame your prostate, stress your bladder, and leave you feeling drained. The better choice? Organic turkey breast, minimally processed, free from those hidden toxins. David, a 71-year-old grandfather, switched from cheap deli meats to organic turkey. He came back weeks later saying he felt lighter after meals, slept deeper, and woke up with the kind of energy he thought he'd left behind years ago. Sometimes it's not about eating less, it's about eating clean. Now, you might be wondering, what about snacks? Most men reach for chips, cookies, or something crunchy to carry them through the afternoon. But here's the truth. Almost all of those snacks are fried in cheap seed oils, soy, corn, canola, that silently inflame your blood vessels. Inflammation quietly sabotages testosterone and circulation. But swap those oils for avocado oil, and suddenly the story changes. You still get the crunch, but without the hidden attack on your body. I've told countless men this simple rule. If you do nothing else, cut out seed oils and cane sugar. That alone carries you 90% closer to vitality. Harold, who once laughed at the idea, came back months later with tears in his eyes. "Doc, I feel like myself again. My wife said she can see it in my eyes." That's the quiet reward of swapping toxins for nourishment. And as the day winds toward dinner, this is where your choices either protect or erode your foundation as a man. Let's talk about beef. Not all beef is created equal. Conventional grain-fed beef, raised on GMO corn, carries more inflammation and fewer nutrients. Grass-fed beef, by contrast, is rich in omega-3s, vitamin A, vitamin E, and conjugated linoleic acid that protects your heart and fuels testosterone. It supports muscle recovery, sharper energy, and a more youthful vascular system. For men over 60, this difference can be life-changing. Alan, 67, a retired coach, once told me he hadn't felt steady energy in years. We replaced his grain-fed beef with grass-fed, and within months, he wasn't just performing better at the gym, he was performing better in the bedroom too. Because here's the truth, you are what your food eats. If the cow is fed grains and chemicals, that's what you absorb. If it's grass-fed, natural, nutrient-rich, that's what you carry into your blood, your muscles, your manhood. And just as beef comes in two stories, so does fish. Farm-raised salmon may look appealing on the shelf, but its pale pink is often artificially colored with additives. Wild salmon, by contrast, gets its rich color from its natural diet. That color is a sign of nutrients your body craves, nutrients that keep your arteries open, your testosterone steady, and your vitality alive. The difference shows up not just in labs, but in life. Frank, who had been eating farm-raised fish for years, switched to wild-caught. Soon, he noticed his energy lasted longer. His sleep deepened, and he woke up with morning vitality he hadn't felt in over a decade. When you step back, you see the pattern. Every swap, from butter to bread, eggs to fish, turkey to beef, carries one message: real unprocessed food fuels circulation, testosterone, and vitality. Ultra-processed food sabotages it. And yet, so many men over 60 wander the grocery aisles confused, believing the marketing labels that scream heart-healthy, low-fat, all-natural, while hiding sugar, seed oils, and preservatives that drain life from their veins. But when you see clearly, when you choose wisely, you unlock something you thought was gone. You unlock the man inside you who still wants to feel strong, connected, alive. And here's what I want you to remember. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Don't try to change it all at once. Just begin with one simple swap. Replace margarine with grass-fed butter. Swap your factory eggs for pasture-raised. Trade your chips fried in canola oil for ones cooked in avocado oil. These little shifts stack up day after day until suddenly your body feels different. Your energy holds, your circulation flows. And when you look in the mirror, you don't see a man fading. You see a man adapting, thriving, alive. As we bring the day to a close, let's pause and connect the dots. You've now seen how 9 simple foods, grass-fed butter, pasture-raised eggs, whole grain bread, probiotics, real coffee and tea, oats, wild salmon, clean turkey, and grass-fed beef quietly shape your energy, your hormones, and your circulation. They're not magic pills. They're not expensive supplements. They're nature's tools, designed to keep you strong as a man long after society tells you to fade. And what strikes me most, after decades of working with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, is how often they arrive in my office believing it's already too late. They say things like, "Doc, I guess this is just old age," or "My best years are behind me." But when they begin to eat this way, when they fuel their bodies with the nutrients they've been starving for, I watch something remarkable happen. The lines on their face don't vanish. The gray hair doesn't turn black again, but the spark in their eyes returns. Their posture straightens. Their voices carry more weight. They laugh more freely. They touch their partners with warmth again. That, my friends, is what real food does. Let me tell you about James, 73, who came to me slumped, exhausted, convinced his marriage had quietly ended. We didn't start with medication. We started with breakfast. Out went the sugary cereal. In came oats with chia and blueberries. Out went margarine. In came grass-fed butter. Within a month, his wife pulled me aside after a follow-up appointment and whispered, "I don't know what you told him to do, but he's coming back to life." That's not just about food. That's about identity. Because when a man feeds his body what it truly needs, he feeds his spirit too. Now, some of you might be thinking, "Dr. Kapoor, I don't have the money for all these changes." But here's the truth. Many of these swaps actually save you money. Oats cost less than processed cereal. A dozen pasture-raised eggs might be pennies more than cage-free, but they give you double the nutrients. Buying grass-fed beef in bulk or wild salmon in pouches can cost less per serving than eating out or grabbing packaged snacks. The point isn't to spend more, it's to spend smarter on the foods that give you back energy, drive, and confidence. I want you to imagine this. Tomorrow morning, you wake up, and instead of reaching for toast made with sugar and oil, you crack 2 pasture-raised eggs, cook them gently in grass-fed butter, and pair them with a side of oats topped with berries. You sip real coffee or green tea, no chemicals, no pods, just pure. How do you think your morning will feel? Lighter, steadier, warmer in your chest? That's not just breakfast. That's your blood vessels opening. That's your testosterone waking up. That's your body remembering it can still respond like a man. And then at lunch, instead of reaching for processed meat, you have a salmon salad or organic turkey slices with whole grain bread. At dinner, instead of conventional beef, you enjoy a grass-fed burger with a side of vegetables, maybe even a handful of cherries for dessert, rich in antioxidants. Each choice sends a message: I still matter. My health still matters. My vitality still matters. Over time, those choices stack, and the man who once felt invisible begins to feel strong, steady, and deeply connected again. The ripple effect doesn't stop with your body. When your energy rises, your partner feels it. When your testosterone steadies, your mood brightens. When circulation flows, intimacy returns. Not forced, not mechanical, but natural, the way it once was. I've seen marriages rekindle, men rediscover hobbies, grandfathers play with grandchildren again without exhaustion, all from starting with 9 foods. Because these foods don't just feed muscle, they feed hope. So let me ask you, which food will you start with? Will you swap margarine for grass-fed butter? Will you pick up a carton of pasture-raised eggs instead of cage-free? Will you toss out the flavored coffee pods and brew a real cup? It doesn't have to be all 9 today, just one step, one choice, one signal to your body that you're not done yet. Because here's the truth, you are not done yet. Age doesn't erase your manhood. Poor choices do, and wise choices, even small ones, can bring it roaring back. I want you to carry this message with you tonight. Aging doesn't mean surrender. It means adaptation. Your body is still capable of testosterone production, of circulation, of intimacy. It simply requires you to fuel it differently than you did in your 30s. And when you do, you discover that the best years aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting to be lived with strength, dignity, and joy. This is Dr. Maya Kapoor. If this spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which swap you'll make first. I read every response because your voice matters. And if you'd like more guidance designed for men over 60 who want to stay strong, confident, and connected, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know a friend, a brother, or a husband who needs this reminder, share this video with him. You never know how much one small message can change a life. Your body is still speaking. Just listen.